Hi, everyone. My name's Louise, and have you ever had difficulty sharing a health program with men or with a specific man? Chances are you probably have, which is why we're doing this interview today, which brings us to what we're going to do for the next half hour. For those of you who don't know me, please allow me about 30 seconds to quickly introduce myself and to share my story. My name is Louise Laird. I'm an accountant for over 30 years. I've been fighting weight gain ever since I turned 50 and lost the battle every single time. Through this business group, one of our business groups, I was extremely fortunate to meet a simply amazing woman, Cindy Little, a personal trainer and health advocate who simply just changed my entire life. I embarked on this path expecting the same old results as I already had. And I'm going to just share with you quickly my before and after pictures from August of 2016 up to this month, January. Right there. As you can see, it's pretty impressive, and that was just less than 6 months, actually. Now, we know this company is about much more than weight loss, and so I've asked a very special man to share his experience with us, my very good friend Cindy's husband, Darren Little. Thank you so much, Darren, for agreeing to do this with me. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
So, Darren, how many years were you part of the Canadian Military Special Forces?
I was 26 years, a little more than 26 years in the military overall, and 17 years, the last 17 with special operations.
So, what kind of physical endurance was required when you're in the special forces?
Well, over the 17 years, I when I started, it was like an entry level position if you're going to compare it to the corporate world. So there's a lot more physicality to it. And as I progressed through the ranks and so on, of course, it became more and more office oriented. But as far as physical endurance goes, in general, I mean, it doesn't matter what rank you are, what age you are, you still have to be able to perform with the youngest and newest member. And so, as far as endurance goes, in a special operations unit, especially, you have to be at top physical shape at all times and ready to perform at any minute. So you have to always be in great shape.
So what kind of physical demands are you talking about for the job? Like, are you like kicking down doors and doing all that good stuff?
Well, as far as the physical side goes, you're carrying a lot of equipment when you're training and when you're in operations. Upwards of 60 pounds usually of body armor, ammunition, equipment, backpacks, weapons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'd say probably if I was gonna, the hardest part physically is the long hours and the staying mentally agile for a long time.
So during all that time when you're with all this physical activity, did you suffer any injuries? And if so, what were they?
Yeah, I've got a long list of injuries. The one thing that I always sort of knock on wood, I've never broken a bone, but I've torn, sprained, or otherwise injured pretty much every joint on my body. I've had a complete reconstruction of my right knee, which I've since destroyed again. Complete reconstruction of my left shoulder rotator cuff primarily. I've had numerous surgeries to repair different ligaments and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff that I incurred as a young man, are starting to come back and haunt me a little bit as I age. And luckily, I'm able to offset the effects of that with nutrition.
So while you were in the military, what were you using or doing to relieve discomfort stemming from those injuries?
Other than almost, daily visits to physiotherapy and so on, I used to use things like I've always used things like chondroitin and different sorts of joint support. And since I've been with Isagenix, I rely quite heavily on the pain cream. They also have their own line of joint support, and so I've moved any supplements I used to take. I've shifted completely to Isagenix brands.
So since you've retired, like you retired 2 years ago, correct?
2.5, yeah.
2.5 years ago. So since then, what has been your exercise routine? Of course, you're not kicking down doors anymore.
I have a daily routine that's geared more towards maintenance now. Um, I'm past the ego years where I want to just look good in the mirror. I train for functionality now, and so with that I do a lot of cross training. So I lift weights because it knows the benefits of lifting weights on your bones and your joints, especially as we age. I do different forms of cardio. I do a lot of stuff for endurance now, and I try to mix it up like swimming, any number of different activities, low impact and stuff like that, to just kind of maintain what I've got rather than trying to build.
So you're still going to a gym though regularly?
Yes, I still especially in the wintertime because I don't enjoy going outside in the cold.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, I really enjoy training outside, and typically I'll take kettlebells or ropes or stuff, and I'll go train in a field. But yeah, I go to the gym, and the good thing about the gym is the many different activities that they provide, and so I can take group classes like whether it's cycling, swimming, TRX, et cetera, stuff like that. Or I go to the weight room at least 3 to 4 times a week and just do old school weight training.
So when were you first introduced to the Isagenix company and its holistic products?
Well, Cindy started in 2008, I think it was. And when she was introduced to it, I was out of the country. And I think it was about 6 weeks that I was gone. And when I came home, I could tell that she was overflowing with excitement about something. It's kind of like she had a secret. It was holding off for some reason. But her energy and her enthusiasm was overwhelming almost. And she waited for the unveil, we'll say, or the reveal, when we went to bed that night. And I noticed right away, like, she was always fit and healthy looking and so on, but I noticed the change. And it was as much the aura coming off of her as the visible difference. It's not like she lost a lot of weight, but the overall package was just something. And then she told me, it's like, oh, I tried this new product and I'm really excited about it. I did a 30-day program, and that was from there. It was go time for us for the products.
So what was actually your first thought when she was telling you she wanted you to also get on the products?
Well, obviously the excitement and so on that she was experiencing was kind of infectious, and I wanted to experience some of what she was getting. But to be completely honest, I wasn't sold on having shakes for meals. I've been using supplements and like protein shakes and stuff like that for since I was a young man. When I was into the sort of heavy bodybuilding sort of lifestyle, and but I never used them as a meal replacement. It was always a supplement. So that's kind of how I approached it. I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, but I certainly enjoy making and eating food and lots of different kinds of food. And so it took a while for me to come around to the idea that I could get a meal out of a blender. Anyway, it was an evolution, we'll call it.
So is that on my end? Could have been on my end. But you've been using the products ever since, correct?
Yes.
So
I started off relatively slow. Like I did a 30-day program in the beginning, and had great results. Again, I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but I felt terrific on it. And the circumstances surrounding it are probably the most important, because I was on a training operation, we'll call it, training mission iteration, and I was living in a hotel room for 2 weeks, manning what we call like a command post. And rather than order pizzas and donaires and whatever takeout foods that could be delivered to my room, what I did was I took Isagenix products, and I almost lived exclusively with them during the 2 weeks that I was in the room. And my roommate saw that as he was deteriorating in his nutrition and health and activity, he saw that I was, if not maintaining, I was even more alert. And so he became instantly interested. Hey, what is that stuff you're blending up? And what are those bars you're eating? And what's this? What's that? And so, yeah, sorry, I think I went off the rails of the question.
Okay, that just brings me to the next question, actually. So what now on a daily basis? Which products now do you use on a daily basis?
Daily, I use a ton of different products. I have a shake a day at least, sometimes two. I do the daily essentials, which is morning and like an AM and PM vitamin pack. I do C light, so the vitamin C. I do extra omegas. I do the joint support for sure. I take greens every day. I take ionics every day. Um, Brain boost, of course. I just about forgot what it was called. I guess I better take more of it. And, uh, and of course, then there's things like the bars. I'll have a bar now and then, especially if I'm on the road. Like when I'm traveling and I'm on the go, that's when this stuff really, comes into its own for me because it's so convenient. Fiber snacks, whey thins, et cetera. So they have such a long or such a large product line that it supports. I think probably anybody's lifestyle, especially on the go.
And how about their coffee? I fell in love with their coffee, but they have two types, I believe, right? The premium and the organic, which is
yes, that's definitely a daily for me. That's how I start my day typically. But yeah, like I've been a coffee. Like I've always loved coffee, and when Isagenix came up with their own line, it was perfect timing because when we started with Isagenix, coffee was frowned upon. It was recommended to take it out of your diet. Yes. But recent studies have shown the antioxidant capabilities and so on, properties of coffee. And so, of course, Isagenix, as they do with everything, took a given product that is loved around the world, made their own version, which is one of the, in my opinion, like one of the best available out there. And now we shop our coffee exclusively at Isagenix.
And talk to me a little bit, Darren, about telomeres with the vitamins.
Oh yeah, so the Isagenix came out with a thing called Product B, which now has been renamed Isagenesis, and it's geared towards the support of telomeres. It inhibits the shortening of your telomeres, which in a nutshell, once your telomeres are shortened to the point where they're gone, that's when your cells die, and that's when you reach end of life. And so this product, Isagenesis, which is in the daily essentials, it's one option, it directly inhibits the shortening of the telomeres, which shortens a degree every time your cells replicate. And so it's kind of like a age inhibitor.
Okay, that's really I like that explanation because a lot of people are asking me about it. So now, what difference have you experienced since you've been on the products, but specifically in the energy and performance systems?
Well, again, like anybody you talk to who's tried the systems, they'll all report typically, abundance of energy, clarity of mind, sharper focus, lots of energy and endurance and stuff like that. But as far as energy and performance specifically goes, again, right? So Isagenix saw a need and a market for a particular product, and so they came out with their AMP line, and it's probably the one product launch that I've been most excited about because when they came out with the AMP Power, I immediately got on the Twitter machine and let all my athlete friends know, hey, guess what? That was around the same time I think when the shakes were NSF certified or thereabouts. And so I've had a lot of pro athlete friends, like fighters and so on, who are holding off on using the products just because of potential conflict with drug testing and doping and stuff like that. Even though the products are all natural, they just were looking for that certification. So fast forward, once the AMP line came out, they all jumped on it along with me. And so the AMP Power was the first one to come out in the line. And I noticed immediately in the gym, faster gains, way more energy, way more endurance, much more strength, and way faster recovery after a hard training session. And for me, I think the AMP line, and they've since expanded it to BCAAs and an endurance fuel, and they've renamed one of their other products the AMP Hydrate, which is a hydration drink. Anyway, in like when it comes to training, the AMP line is, for me, I base everything on it. I use it every day.
So these products, including the AMP line, did they help at all alleviate some of the physical discomforts from old injuries?
I wouldn't necessarily say the AMP line in particular. The AMP line certainly supports and enables me to train at a a higher level than I would expect to at my age and in the condition that I'm in. Um, but one thing about whey protein, again, right? Like, so nutritional science is always evolving, and they're always sort of relooking at things and discovering things. And what they found recently is that whey protein in particular has anti-inflammatory properties. And again, I've been taking whey protein most of my life. And when Isagenix came out, again, it was like one of the tastiest shakes I've ever had. The texture, the consistency, it's a good tasting and healthy drink. And I take it as much for maintaining lean muscle mass as for the anti-inflammatory properties, which if you are doing heavy training and endurance stuff, you break down your tissues and you get a lot of toxins and stuff in there. So along with the rest of all the Isagenix products, the whey protein directly lends itself to supporting the regrowth of your cells.
So in your opinion, should men take note of this company and its products, men in general?
Oh, absolutely. I find it's a little bit hypocritical for me to say it now, because in the beginning I was the skeptic, and I considered it as a kind of a side project of Cindy's. I supported her in it, and I took the products, and I kind of probably I think 80% of the company is women, so that's changing, by the way. But I think that skews the perception of a lot of men, and they think like, okay, well, it's just for women. Well, I've been in it 9 years now, and I can tell you that ratio is changing, but it is absolutely not just for women. I think that not every man, but every person should be using these products, and regardless of what your goals are, physically, nutritionally, whatever. This is like these products as part of your lifestyle are life changing.
Not just a weight loss or lean muscle gain system. This is an overall system for everyone.
Yeah, like I say, I consider it part of my lifestyle. A lot of people, they'll okay, so what's the diet you're on? And diets they're not allowed in our household. A diet has a start and an end date, and typically people have a specific goal that they want to reach, and then the whole time they're on the diet, all they're doing is typically focusing on the end date when the diet's over, so they can go back to enjoying the stuff that they've been restricting themselves on. With Isagenix, you'll find after doing a 30-day, for instance, a lot of your unhealthy cravings and other poor habits, by the time you get through this system, you don't have those cravings and stuff anymore, and you don't feel restricted. A lot of times, and like for myself especially, I look back and I think, wow, I can't believe I actually used to eat this, or I used to drink that, or whatever. Like, just as an example, sugar is non-existent almost in my diet now. Like milk, I can't remember the last time I had a glass of milk, and I'm just using those examples for me. I'm not saying that stop drinking milk, but that's as my example. And then post the 30-day, it's like, all right, the 30 days is over, because now it becomes part of my daily routine. Like I said, I've been doing this for 9. I do 2 weeks and 30 days intensive here and there, just to sort of give myself a kickstart. But I take these products every day. It's just part of my daily routine now.
So I know one of the biggest products and the most important products, of course, is their Cleanse for Life. Now, had you first of all tried cleansing previously in the past before using Isagenix?
Yes, I have tried probably 3 or 4 different cleanse plans, or whatever they call them. I didn't last through any of them. If I wasn't, having to be in close proximity to a toilet, then I was having severe headaches, severe hunger, and I just felt completely deprived. And I was, angry, and none of them really worked for me. And so when this one came along, I was kind of like leery about, well, you know what, I've tried cleansing before, and I'd rather just eat healthy and stuff like this. But the way that Isagenix just put their systems together, it's so easy that you don't even realize that you're doing your body good. Because for example, on the cleanse days, which for anybody who isn't familiar with intermittent fasting, it's something that cultures around the world have done forever. It's just something, for some reason, it's new in North America, even though we come from all over the world. But so with Isagenix on a cleanse day, not only are you drinking the cleanse formula, but they provide, well, you have what they call like snacks. So you make sure you take those throughout the day, and they're perfectly balanced with protein, carbs, and fat to support you through your fasting. As well, you have the accelerator, have healthy chocolates. So I mean, you can go a full day. A lot of people do back-to-back cleanse days, and usually I find myself with more energy, and a lot of people report the same thing: more clarity, more focus, and you feel completely revitalized.
So that was actually one of my questions, because their cleanse for life is not what we call, or what Cindy used to call, a poopy cleanse or
Yeah.
a colon cleanse. This is definitely cellular level cleanse. So what would you say to people? So the myth about cleansing equals being hungry and starving yourself with the Isagenix products is completely false, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so as we were just saying before, this is absolutely not a diet program whatsoever. And in your opinion, will the vast majority of people that, I mean, I'm including men, women, teenagers, children over the age of 2, all benefit from this nutritional program?
Yeah, I totally think so. Just like I don't know what the comparison would be, but just like we tell people, make sure you get adequate protein intake, make sure you get adequate carbs, make sure you drink lots of water. Like those are recommendations we give to everybody. Well, I would go so far as to say that the Isagenix products have been engineered and formulated in such a way that they can support everybody, no matter what your lifestyle, what your goals are, what kind of shape you're in. I think it just should be part of everybody's daily consumption.
Well, when we're looking, I know when I was growing up, it was kind of an assumed fact that as soon as we hit 50 or 55, everything just kind of goes to hell. Our bodies start getting bigger in weight. Our weight gain is there, and lean muscle mass is practically gone. Memory and all that thing. So using the Isagenix products, how do you see now our generation and the next generation coming after us compared to what our parents' generation and their train of thought when it came to the retirement age?
I think generally speaking, every generation lives a little bit longer than the one previous. Like with the way that this generation is going, I'll say our generation, we've realized that there's no reason to stop moving once you hit retirement age. There's people want to train, they want to live, they want to travel, they want to keep living life well into their retirement years. And as with so many other areas, Isagenix, capitalize on this shift in thinking, and their products and their culture and so on have arrived at just the right time to meet our generation, because everything that they provide in the way of the nutrition supports what we want to do with our lives. And if you look back to previous generations when it was all just get up, go to work, eat your 3 squares a day, mostly meat and potatoes based or whatever, and then they work their butts off till they're able to retire or get a pension or what have you. And then not to be too cynical, but typically it was like, okay, well, I'm sit around and wait to die now. Whereas nowadays, people are not only working, shifting through several careers through their life, but they want to live life and enjoy life as well. And if I look at the generation coming behind us, that's even more so. The old paradigm of, working 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that's going to the wayside, just as traditional eating habits are going to the wayside. And I think that like our children are both on the products. We have teens living at home, and they're both, like, Isagenix is part of their daily routine as well.
So coming back to retirement, I would just like to talk a little bit now before we end the interview about the business side of Isagenix, either for those who might be interested in even an extra little bit of money every week, or for someone who's actually interested in early retirement plan. So am I correct in saying that thanks to Isagenix, you were able to retire for the military?
If it were not for Cindy having the vision and grasping onto the opportunity that Isagenix provides, I would still be working and, out of the country most of the year, away from home 60 to 70% of the time. Cindy was still probably running our gym or doing some other, long, exhausting hours. But because, she saw it right away, and I slowly realized what it was that she had discovered. And I attribute everything that we have today to that decision to come with Isagenix and create a second or an extra stream of revenue from it. In the course of 6 years, Cindy was able to replace her income from the gym and my income from the military to include extra pay that I was receiving at the time, which was quite substantial. And so what took me 26 years to achieve in the military as far as income level, she did that in 6 years with Isagenix.
So just give us your opinion on Isagenix's business plan model, just quickly.
Well, first of all, I guess I would have to say that network marketing in general, or multi-level marketing, is a business model. I think it's the perfect business model in today's world, as things are moving out of storefronts and moving, to virtual online shopping and so on. But the thing with, there's a lot of different companies out there, but Isagenix has got that magic formula. They've got the products, they've got the corporate team, the founders, it's a legacy that's going to be around, and they've got the best compensation plan that I've seen in any network marketing company. And even if people weren't going to do it full time, I think that I think this is something that everybody should get into, if not just for the health aspect of it. I mean, definitely for the health aspect of it, but I think that to not look at the potential income that's there in a passive residual income stream, to not look at that, I think is having the blinders on, which is where I was at the beginning, but I came around.
Yeah, luckily, because in 2015, you and Cindy became millionaires, which was awesome, thanks to Isagenix. So many people are curious. They would like to know how you both accomplished this. Now, a lot of people are thinking, you have to go out every night and do all these hotel presentations and on and on and on and on and on. And is that the case?
Well, when people ask me, like, how did you guys do it? Like, I don't think I can do it. And, what it comes down to is, like, our typical response is, well, do you talk to people? And, yeah. Okay, well, make it part of the conversation. Cindy's got a 2-foot rule, and everybody who knows her understands that now. But if you're within 2 feet of her, you're going to be talking to her. Yeah. And we always make the opportunity of Isagenix part of the conversation. And, we push nothing, but we offer everything. And as far as parties and stuff like that go, like we do launch parties. In the beginning, we used to do, product introductory parties and stuff like that, mostly for friends and so on. And now we help others to do that. And one of Cindy and I's real passions is actually presenting to big groups of people our story, because, to not sound humble or trying to be humble when I say it, I think that we've really done quite well, and we're very happy with what we've achieved. And, one of our greatest achievements is that we have people who we've brought into the company who are doing, even better than us at it. And that's what really we take away at the end of the day. We've been able to help other people to achieve things that they want to achieve as well, just by introducing and sharing the products and the opportunity.
So you didn't have any sales background going into this?
No. Nope.
Okay, and neither did Cindy?
Nope.
So you once said to me, it's awesome to be able to be lying on the beach and still make money, which is the difference between linear income and binary income. And of course, as an accountant, it's very easy for me to see the advantages of that. So being this amazing trip that you're on, how's Isagenix changed your lives?
Well, for the comment on the beach specifically, that kind of illustrates the whole concept of residual passive income. Because whether Cindy and I are, head down on our laptops and working our butts off, sharing and enrolling people and, doing the hard business stuff, or whether we're, lying on a beach in Punta Cana, our income level doesn't really change, because once we got that ball rolling in the beginning and the momentum moving, that revenue stream comes in regardless of where we are, where the circumstances are. So where that's changed our life is that we no longer have to answer to anybody. If an opportunity comes up for us to, fly down to Florida and take part in a adventure race at the invitation of some friends, all we do is, does our personal life support it? Yeah. So, I don't have to put in a leave pass. We don't have to get somebody to cover us off at work. We just buy our plane tickets and head on down, and, and then enroll more people down there.
Exactly, because as you just said, it's just a question of talking to people. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are, correct? It's just, you just talk.
And we're both, Cindy and I are both extroverts. Cindy is without a doubt more of the social person, but neither one of us has a problem talking to complete strangers. And, it actually makes Cindy laugh sometimes, because I'll make a point of, greeting people on the street in our neighborhood, or our favorite thing, like on an airplane, for instance, we'll sit on opposite sides of the aisle just to open up opportunities to talk to more people while we're on a plane, rather than sit together where we're restricting who we're going to interact with. So we're always finding ways to put ourselves in front of new people. And, the conversation inevitably comes around to, just like with anybody. So what do you do? Well, here's what I'm passionate about. And it goes from there.
That's just awesome. Well, we're running short on time, Darren. I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing your story and experience with all of us. I know that a lot of us did get the opportunity to watch an amazing documentary, which has nothing to do with Isagenix. It was called A Global Quest, The Truth About Cancer. For those of you that didn't get the chance to follow these 9 episodes, I highly recommend that you do. Doctors from around the world shared their studies, their experiences, and their mind-blowing results based on nutrients, on intermittent fasting, etc. Even though this documentary, like I said, had nothing to do with Isagenix whatsoever, Isagenix did not contribute to it at all. It simply brings it all home. So should any of you like more information regarding Isagenix, or you can simply find us on Facebook. My name is Louise Laird, and of course Darren Little and Cindy Little. We're all in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. We'd love to hear from you all. So thanks everyone for watching. Darren, thank you so much.
Thanks, Louise.